is already beginning to slow. 3 quiet places are waiting ahead. Nothing will rush you from one to the next. The places will change, but the pace will not. This is one long stretch of calm. The same steady rhythm. And the night will keep carrying you forward. Tonight the tunnel holds the sea on both sides. Blue light drifts over the glass. The walkway is empty from end to end. Nothing more needs to happen here. The last visitors are long gone now. Only the water keeps moving. Only the tunnel keeps watch. Near the entrance, a folded caution sign stands beside a cleaning bucket and a stack of dark rubber mats. Their edges stay straight under the low light. No hand reaches for them. A wall map glows inside its frame, with white arrows, fish names, and small blue dots marking the next rooms. No finger follows the route. No one waits there now. Along the first curve, the acrylic wall rises into a slow green-blue sheet above the rail. Small fish drift through the upper water in loose silver turns. No sudden motion breaks the glass. A ray passes once above the tunnel arch and fades back into the dim. Its pale underside catches the light. Then the ceiling goes dark again. At the center path, the floor holds a long, wet shine beneath the lamps and the shifting reflections from the tank. The light moves more than the water seems to. No shoe crosses the tiles. A drain line runs along the base of the left wall in a narrow, dark cut. Its metal rim keeps one faint edge of silver. Nothing touches it tonight. On the right side, coral shelves rise behind the glass in layered shadows, holes, fans, and rounded stone. Tiny fish wait in the folds and then move all at once. No wave reaches them. A black speaker sits above the frame, with its grill turned toward the tunnel. No music comes from it. No announcement begins. Near the first bench, a dropped brochure lies half under the seat, with a picture of a bright, tropical tank on the cover. Its corner has curled inward. No one picks it up. The bench itself stays empty under the moving, blue reflections. The metal legs keep their straight, dark shape. Nothing shifts there. From farther down the tunnel, one soft filter hum folds into another and becomes part of the air. Not sharp, not loud. The water keeps its slow motion over the glass. The blue light keeps sliding across the floor. The tunnel takes back its quiet. At the far bend, the sharks hold deeper water where the overhead lamps do not quite reach. Gray shapes cross once and disappear. No splash rises to the surface. Below them, the rock wall drops into black sand and one pale shell turned toward the glass. Its edge stays bright. No current lifts it. Along the inner rail, small brass plates name the species in narrow engraved letters beneath each section of tank. The text catches and loses the light as the water moves. No one leans close to read it now. A of screws holds the plates in place against the dark frame. Each head stays still. Nothing loosens there. Near the service alcove, a narrow door marked "Staff Only" sits between two wall panels painted to match the tunnel curve. The handle keeps a weak reflection from the lamp above. No key turns in it. Beside the door, a red alarm box hangs above a coiled hose and a white plastic case. No button is pressed. No seal is broken tonight. Outside the glass, a larger fish turns broadside and holds for a moment in the blue. Its eye reflects one white point. Then it slips down and out of sight. The tunnel wall becomes only moving water again. The light keeps breathing over the path. The bench stays empty. Near the final arch, a child-height viewing bubble rises from the floor, like a clear dome set into the side of the tunnel. The acrylic shines with soft hand marks from earlier hours. No face presses there now. Beyond it, the passage continues toward the dark exit and the closed gift shop doors. Their glass stays black. No lock clicks there. At the left rail, a souvenir token machine stands dark beside the wall, with its slot covered by a clear plastic flap. The flap stays flat. No coin drops through it. A faded sticker near the base shows a cartoon turtle from an older summer event. Its corners have whitened. No one peels it away. Beyond the next pane, a slow cloud of smaller fish turns together and then opens like a curtain across the rock. Silverbacks catch once and vanish. The water closes behind them. The floor below keeps their moving light without keeping any shape. Blue turns to green, then blue again. Near the arch, one pale shell rests in sand below the glass. Its curve stays bright. Nothing reaches it. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The aquarium tunnel keeps its late arrangement after midnight, blue and enclosed, while the water glides above the empty path and the building sleeps around it. Near the exit rail, a folded mop cloth rests beside a small tin of polish and a short plastic scraper. The cloth keeps one darker line through the middle. No hand reaches there. At the lower glass, faint salt marks show where older spray once dried near the seam. The pale trace stays against the blue beyond. No cloth wipes it away tonight. Below the tunnel floor, the service passage keeps its dim strip of light beneath the tank, while the blue water moves over the acrylic overhead. No new sound rises there. No shadow crosses the grate. Nothing more needs to be done. The hum is lower here. The air is cooler. Only the pumps keep working. At the first landing, a yellow handrail runs beside the steps, with damp marks drying at the bolts and corners. Its paint has thinned at the turns. No hand closes there tonight. Below it, the concrete keeps a dark line of water near the wall, where a mop passed earlier and then was taken away. The mark stays narrow. No fresh drip joins it. left side, metal shelves hold boxed filters, spare valves, rolls of hose, and folded cloths stacked in straight rows. White labels face forward under the lamp. No box is opened. A narrow clipboard hangs beside the first rack with dates, signatures, and checked numbers in blue pen. The paper stays flat. No new line is added there. Near the wall, 2 sealed tubs of pellet food stand beside a folded site map and a black marker with its cap clipped tight. Blue route lines cross the map in neat turns. No finger follows them. A small drawer below the shelf remains half shut, with cable ties and plastic tags visible in the gap. Nothing slips out. No hand pushes it closed. At the center of the passage, the grated floor runs beneath a line of pipes and cable trays toward the darker pump room beyond. Water light trembles weakly on the ceiling. No step passes through it. A drain cut follows the base of the right wall, with a silver edge bright in one place and black in the next. Its channel stays clear. Nothing catches there tonight. From behind the next panel, one motor note rises above the rest and then settles back into the lower hum. Not loud, not sharp. The narrow lamps keep their pale bars on the floor. The pipes keep their steady warmth. The passage takes back its quiet. At the first glass port, the tank wall shows only deeper water, rock shadow, and a long, pale fish crossing once near the lower edge. Its body bends. Then it is gone. The round glass darkens again. Only a moving band of blue remains. Nothing presses close to it now. Along the inner wall, warning plates mark pressure valves, shut-off routes, and emergency lighting points in red and black print. The screws hold them flat. No corner lifts away. A metal cabinet stands below with short drawers labeled gaskets, clamps, and O-rings in narrow white tape. One label has yellowed. No drawer opens there tonight. Near the service alcove, a coiled hose hangs beside a white plastic case and a clear jug of cleaning fluid on the floor. Its handle faces outward. No hand reaches for it. A folded tarp rests on the shelf above, with one strap hanging down over the edge. The cloth keeps its shape. Nothing pulls it free. At the far bend, the passage widens beside the pump room window, where gauges, switch lights, and black housings sit beyond the glass in a square of brighter light. 2 green points hold near the lower panel. No red appears. A handwritten note taped to the frame reads, "Check flow at 6," in narrow block letters. The tape has curled at one edge. No one smooths it down. Outside the wall, a larger shape moves through the upper water and throws one slow shadow across the service ceiling. The dim blue deepens. Then the light returns. No splash reaches the tunnel above. No sudden current shakes the pipes. The pumps keep their measured sound. Near the back bench, a dented mug stands beside a torch, a folded cloth, and a short brass wrench laid across a dark rubber mat. One pale ring shows inside the cup. No steam rises there. Below the bench, a cardboard tray holds spare bulbs in divided slots. Clear glass, amber glass, red glass. No light wakes inside them. At the ceiling seam, cable trays cross above the passage in straight, dark bands, with ties spaced at patient intervals. Nothing sags there. No wire slips free. One screwhead near the vent cover catches a brief line of light. Then the shine is gone. The ceiling returns to shadow. Near the final turn, a narrow door marked "Staff Only" sits between two painted panels with a brushed steel handle and a black rubber seal. No key turns there. No latch sounds. Beside the frame, a wall clock glows faintly above a laminated emergency sheet. The hands sit past midnight. No one looks up now. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The service passage keeps its late arrangement below the tunnel, cool and hidden, while the water moves overhead and the building sleeps around the pumps. Near the lower rail, a folded rag rests beside a tin of grease and a short iron scraper on the shelf edge. The cloth keeps one dark line through the middle. No hand reaches there. At the back pane, dried salt still shows where older spray once dried around the seam. The pale trace stays against the blue beyond. No cloth wipes it away tonight. Still down here. Beyond the exit doors, the upper hall keeps its blue stillness, while the gift shop and lobby rest around the entrance. No new sound rises there. No shadow crosses the floor. Nothing needs to open tonight. The registers are dark now. The display lights are low. Only the reflected water keeps moving. At the first arch, a rope barrier stretches between chrome posts beside the tunnel sign and the blank ticket scanner. Its red cord stays level. No hand unclips it. A stand of hand stamps waits below the counter edge, with turtles, waves, and starfish cut in blue rubber. The tops face upward. No stamp is lifted there. Along the left wall, posters show reef scenes, shark silhouettes, and families beneath bright summer lettering from earlier days. Dust stays along the lower frames. No corner peels away. Below them, a rack of folded maps and event flyers stands beside a basket of wristbands and stickers. The top stack stays even. Nothing leaves it tonight. At the center hall, the polished floor runs from the tunnel doors to the shutters in a broad strip of blue light and shadow. Reflections drift over the tiles and then break apart. No shoe crosses there now. A drain cover sits near the middle, with its slots turned toward the shop entrance. The metal holds one pale ring. approaches it tonight. Near the first bench, a stroller sign hangs above 3 empty spaces marked in white paint against the wall. The letters stay clear in the low glow. No wheel stands there. A vending machine beyond the sign keeps one dark screen above rows of bottled water and sealed snacks. The glass returns the blue from the tunnel. No button lights up. From deep behind the aquarium walls, one low pump note folds into the building and fades under the hush of vents. Not loud, not near. The hall lights hold steady. The blue reflections keep sliding over the floor. The upper level takes back its quiet. At the west glass, the bay outside is darkness beyond lamps on the promenade and the rail of the seawall. One bench faces the water. It stays empty. Farther out, a fairy light crosses the black horizon once and disappears behind the breakwater. No wake reaches the wall below the aquarium. No horn carries this high. Along the inner side, the gift shop shutters cover rows of plush animals, bright books, and silver keychains dim behind the slats. The colors stay soft in the dark. No latch moves there. A charity globe sits on the counter beside the closed till, with paper bills folded inside. The clear shell reflects a weak line of light. No coin drops in tonight. Near the side corridor, 2 restroom doors stand beneath blue signs with fish icons and arrows. The brushed handles stay still. No lock clicks there. A wall map glows in its frame beside them with white arrows, room names, and emergency exits marked in red. No finger follows the route now. No face leans close. At the rail above the lower stair, white paint has worn away where older hands once gripped during school trips and summer weekends. Bare metal shows through in a narrow shine. No palm closes there now. Below the rail, 8 steps lead toward the lobby and entrance doors. Cool air rises from the gap in slow breaths. No boot goes down. Near the service kiosk, stacked cups rest beside sanitizer, 2 menus, and a folded cleaning chart clipped to a board. The pages stay flat. No fresh mark joins them. A short enamel mug waits beneath the shelf beside a folded cloth. One pale ring shows at the bottom. No steam rises there. Outside the north panes, the promenade runs along the seawall in wet bands of stone, railings, and closed kiosks under distant lamps. A gull stands once near a bin and then is gone. The path is empty. Higher up, the sky remains dark above the roofline, with one star reflected faintly in the glass. No cloud crosses it. Nothing changes there. Near the shuttered shop, souvenir crates wait beside postcards and a narrow wooden case marked "Shell Sets" in blue paint. Nothing is taken down. Nothing is opened. A dented kettle sits by the stock door beside 2 mugs. One cup shows a line of dried tea near the base. No steam rises there. At the ceiling seam, dark beams cross above the hall in pale bars over the benches and shuttered counter. Nothing flickers there. No chain drops down. One screw head near the vent cover catches a brief glint. Then the light settles again. The hall stays still. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The hall keeps its late arrangement beyond the closed tunnel, cool and watchful, while the blue light reaches out from the glass and the building sleeps around it. Near the final bench, a folded mop cloth rests beside a tin of polish and a short scraper. The cloth keeps one darker line through the middle. No hand reaches there. At the lower glass, faint salt still shows where spray once dried near the seam. The pale trace stays against the dark outside. No cloth wipes it away tonight. The ferry terminal is already quiet after the last boat. A pale line of light rests on the floor. The ticket windows have gone dark. Only the bay keeps moving. Outside, the water slips against the pilings. Inside, the hall stays warm and still. No one is hurrying anywhere now. Near the front doors, two silver barriers stand beside a rack of folded harbor maps and a tray of pencils left near the closed ticket desk. Their black belts stay drawn across the lane. No hand unclips them. A paper cup rests beside the scanner with a brown ring dried near the bottom. Its lid has been turned upside down on the counter. Nothing is moved there. Along the first wall, framed timetables hang beside a board of tide notes and weather warnings printed in blue and black. The corners stay flat behind clear plastic. No finger follows the rows. Below them, a narrow shelf holds lost scarves, one child's glove, and a folded umbrella with a red strap around the middle. The fabric stays dark and still. No one comes to claim it. At the center of the hall, rows of bolted chairs face the glass and the sleeping slips outside. Their metal arms catch thin bands of white. No one sits between them. A trash bin stands near the middle aisle with a brochure half folded over the rim. The cover shows a summer ferry in bright daylight. No page turns there now. Beyond the waiting chairs, the cafe counter keeps its black machines, stacked cups, and a menu board gone dim above the register. A sandwich case glows with one weak strip of light. Nothing is left to sell. Beside the till, a note card reads, "See you at dawn," in thick marker, beside a drawn wave and a crooked heart. The card leans against a tip jar with 3 coins inside. No hand lifts it. From outside, one rope strikes softly against a pole and then falls still again. Not loud, not sharp. The vent above the doors keeps its low breath. The hall takes back its quiet. The floor keeps its pale reflections. At the west glass, the dock lights run out into the bay in patient yellow points over the wet gangway and the empty loading lane. has already flattened. No boat returns there. Farther out, black water reaches toward the harbor mouth between breakwater lamps and dark anchored hulls. A ferry light is gone from the route now. No horn crosses the bay. Along the inner wall, framed photographs show the terminal in earlier winters, with crowded lines, fogged coats, and gulls over the roof. Dust keeps to the frame edges. No corner curls free. Below them, a display rack holds postcards, local histories, and folded weekend guides in straight, bright rows. The top cards stay flat. Nothing slips free tonight. At the stair rail, white paint has worn away where older hands once gripped during windy crossings and holiday rushes after dark. Bare metal shows through in a narrow shine. No palm closes there now. Below the rail, 6 steps lead toward a lower service room beneath the boarding deck. Cool air rises from the gap in slow breaths. No boot goes down. Near the side shelf, spare bulbs lie in divided tins beside a torch and a folded inspection card marked in dark pencil. Boxes fill the card from top to bottom. No fresh mark joins them. A short enamel mug waits at the corner beside a folded cloth. One pale ring shows at the bottom. No steam rises there. Outside the north panes, the promenade curves away beside bollards, wet rails, and a closed bait kiosk under one weak lamp. The sign over the kiosk has gone dark. No latch moves there. Higher up, the stars hold over the black water without a cloud crossing them. The bay stays open there. Nothing changes there. Near the back bench, stacked life rings wait beside sealed flare tins and a narrow wooden case with brass corners gone dull from salt. Nothing is taken down. Nothing is opened. A dented kettle sits by the side wall beside 2 mugs. One cup shows a line of dried tea near the base. No steam rises there. At the ceiling seam, long beams cross above the hall in pale bars over the chairs, shutters, and quiet ticket gates. Nothing flickers there. No chain drops down. One screwhead near the vent cover catches a brief glint. Then the light settles again. The terminal stays as it is. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The ferry terminal keeps its late arrangement after the last boat, bright and watchful, while the water lies beyond the glass and the empty slips hold their place outside. Near the rear exit, a yellow rain jacket hangs from a hook above a brown rubber mat. The sleeves keep their shape. No drop falls there now. At the lower pane, dried salt marks show where older spray once reached the glass in winter storms. The pale trace stands against the dark bay beyond. No cloth wipes it away tonight. Near the west sill, a folded route flag rests beside a brass compass and a clipped pass. Its blue stripe shows. No hand unfolds it. Here, below the boarding hall, the service passage keeps its dim strip of light beneath the deck, while black water folds against the pilings outside. No new sound rises there. No shadow crosses the floor. Nothing needs to be checked now. At the first landing, cooler air gathers near the wall. The concrete shows faint boot marks. No step goes there tonight. Below the main room, the passage waits between cinder block walls and metal shelves lined with boxed bulbs, wrapped glass, folded tarps, and spare rope. A narrow lamp glows above the first rack. Its light falls in a pale strip. Nothing passes through it. Near the wall, sealed grease tins rest beside spare manuals and a folded harbor map. Blue route lines cross the open page. No hand folds it shut. A rack of long poles stands beside two storage chests and a narrow bin of coupling parts. Their metal tips hold a dull shine. No grip closes there. A wooden tray below the rack holds spare lenses in divided slots. Red glass, green glass, clear glass. No light wakes inside them. Through the small side pane, the service walk shows one low rail, two mooring posts, and the dark shoulder of the dock below the boarding gate. Water shines once along the concrete edge, then goes dark again. A pier lamp throws one weak reflection across a shallow patch beside the wall. Then the surface breaks apart. No wake reaches there now. At the work table, spare fasteners lie beside a screwdriver, a roll of tape, and a folded cloth. The tool handle shows one pale edge. No hand lifts it. A short ledger rests at the corner with stock counts and service notes written in narrow rows. No new line is added tonight. No page turns. From somewhere above, one hollow step of settling wood moves through the deck and then returns to stillness. Not sharp, not near. The low room hum settles beneath it. The lamp keeps its small circle. The passage takes back its quiet. Near the inner post, a hook holds a canvas cap above a box of spare keys and sealed batteries. The brim hangs in a soft curve. No shoulder enters it. A pair of gloves waits on the lid beside a folded shop towel. The leather catches a thin line of light. No hand reaches there. At the far door, the frame leads toward a closet marked Tools. The handle stays still. No one pulls it open. Beside the frame, a small clock face glows faintly above a pinned delivery slip. The hands sit past midnight. No one checks now. Along the floor, a grated drain runs toward the dark end of the room beside the sink wall. Watermarks show in pale streaks along the edge. No stream overfills there. A warning plate reads, "Employees only," in black letters on white plastic. The corners have gone dull. No second notice hangs below it. At the side recess, a cabinet of spare fittings stands beside a folded caution sign and a sealed tool case. White labels run down the drawer fronts. No drawer opens there. A key tag hangs from the case latch on a bent wire loop. The code has faded at one corner. No hand lifts it tonight. Near the north wall, 3 empty hooks hang beside a route map and a rolled canvas cover tied with twine. Their Their shadows rest in dark curves. No hook swings there. The canvas keeps its stiff shape in the cool air. A loose end hangs toward the floor. Nothing pulls it free tonight. Near the shelf edge, a folded rag rests beside a short iron wrench. The cloth keeps one dark grease mark near the center. No hand reaches tonight. No dust shifts along the shelf. No chain slips from the peg. Still. Back above, the hall keeps its ticket lanes, quiet chairs, and black windows over the slips. The guest book stays open on the desk. The glass doors stay shut. One light, then dark water, then one light again near the pilings. At the back pane, dried salt still shows where older spray once pressed damp grit against the frame during winter storms. No cloth wipes it clear. No worker passes there now. The passage stays cool below the deck. The terminal stays watchful above the bay. Morning has not reached the loading lane yet. Near the pump case, 2 folded tarps rest beside a box of chalk and a spare warning plate with one corner turned to the wall. Their edges stay square in the lamp glow. No hand lifts them. A dustpan hangs from one nail above the shelf beside a dry brush. It does not sway. No breeze reaches it here. Still, no mark appears. Beyond the glass doors, the outer promenade keeps its wet stillness along the bay, while the closed terminal glows behind the windows. No new sound rises there. No shadow crosses the paving. Nothing asks to be opened. At the first barrier, cool air gathers near the rail. The stone shows faint shoe marks. No step goes there tonight. Outside the hall, the walkway waits between bollards, benches, and the dark backs of shuttered kiosks facing the sleeping slips. A low lamp glows above the map case. Its light falls in a pale strip. Nothing passes through it. Near the wall, a rack of folded harbor guides rests beside tide notices and a laminated emergency chart. Blue route lines cross the page. No hand lifts it free. A row of life rings hangs beside 2 storage chests and a narrow cabinet marked First Aid in black letters. Their white paint holds a dull shine. No grip closes there. A wooden tray below the cabinet holds spare lenses in divided slots. Red glass, green glass, clear glass. No light wakes inside them. Through the outer rail, the bay opens in black water, sleeping masts, and one dark breakwater line beneath the far lamps. A buoy light blinks once near the harbor mouth. Then it is gone. A pier lamp throws one weak reflection across a shallow film on the stone edge. Then the surface breaks apart. No wake reaches the wall. At the bench nearest the doors, a dropped leaflet lies beneath one metal leg with a picture of the summer ferry on the cover. Its corner curls inward. No hand reaches down. A paper ticket stub rests near the drain line with its print gone pale from damp air and shoes. It stays where it fell. Nothing shifts there tonight. From somewhere out on the bay, a rope taps once against a post and then falls still again. Not loud, not near. The wind leaves the rail. The lamps keep their pale pools. The promenade takes back its quiet. Near the loading lane, the movable gangway rests above the water, with its joints locked and the rubber sides folded close to the frame. No chain rattles there. No wheel moves. A steel plate at the threshold catches one soft line of light from the hall behind the glass. The line does not travel. Nothing changes there. Along the inner wall, poster frames show old ferry photographs, route celebrations, and crowded summer mornings with white wakes in the sun. Dust keeps to the lower edges. No corner curls free. Below them, a vending alcove holds bottled water, wrapped snacks, and one dark coffee machine gone blank above the keypad. The glass stays black. No button lights up. At the stair rail near the far gate, white paint has worn away where older hands once gripped through storms, delays, and late winter arrivals after dark. Bare metal shows through in a narrow shine. No palm closes there now. Below the rail, 7 steps lead toward the lower dock and the closed service float beneath the terminal. Cool air rises from the gap in slow breaths. No boot goes down. Near the sidepost, spare mooring ropes hang in loops beside a torch and a folded inspection card marked in dark pencil. Boxes fill the card from top to bottom. No fresh mark joins them. A short enamel mug waits on the ledge beside a folded cloth. One pale ring shows at the bottom. No steam rises there. Outside the north rail, the promenade curves away beside the seawall, the bait kiosk, and a line of empty picnic tables turned silver by salt and moonlight. One gull stands near a bin and then is gone. The path is empty. Higher up, the stars hold over the dark water without a cloud crossing them. The harbor stays open beneath that sky. Nothing changes there. Near the back shutter, stacked cones wait beside sealed flare tins and a narrow wooden case with brass corners gone dull from years of spray. Nothing is taken down. Nothing is opened. A dented kettle sits by the wall beside 2 mugs. One cup shows a line of dried tea near the base. No steam rises there. At the roof seam, dark beams cross above the covered walk in pale bars over the benches and quiet boarding lane. Nothing flickers there. No chain drops down. One screwhead near the vent cover catches a brief glint. Then the light settles again. The terminal front stays as it is. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The promenade keeps its late arrangement beyond the last boat, open and watchful, while the bay lies black below the lamps and the closed hall glows softly behind the glass. Near the final bench, a folded mop cloth rests beside a tin of polish and a short plastic scraper. The cloth keeps one darker line through the middle. No hand reaches there. At the lower rail, faint salt still shows where older spray once dried near the seam. The pale trace stays against the dark water below. No cloth wipes it away tonight. Near the ticket gate, a brass bell hangs above a hook of lost lanyards and one striped scarf. The scarf stays still in the low air. No hand lifts it. Still, no bell sounds. No wind reaches it. The lamp in the service room has been burning for hours. Its light rests on the table, on the chair, and the folded coat by the wall. Beyond the window, black water keeps turning below the cliff. Nothing in the room disturbs it. The tower has gone quiet now. The stair is empty. Only the sea goes on breathing in the dark. Near the door, 2 yellow oilskins hang from hooks beside a locker worn white by salt and weather. Their sleeves fall in slow, heavy folds, and the cuffs turn inward as if the rain had only just stepped out of them. A pair of black sea boots waits below on the ribbed mat, with salt around the heels. The leather has gone soft with age. The boards around them stay bare. Nothing leans out of place. Along the first wall, framed charts hold tide lines, reef names, fog routes, and the buoy beyond the point. Blue marks cross faded red in quiet curves, and the paper has softened at the corners from long winters inside the tower. Nothing asks to be checked at this hour. Below the charts, a shallow drawer stands half open beside pencils, spare nibs, and one folded weather slip under a brass compass. The compass lid remains closed. Its needle keeps its own stillness in the dark. At the center table, a service log lies open under a square stone weight beside a fountain pen. Wind notes, lamp checks, and tide times fill the page in narrow black lines. That quiet white space is left alone. A chipped enamel mug stands at the far corner of the table, beside a spoon turned toward the window. A pale ring rests at the bottom. The hour leaves it there. Beyond the table, the room narrows between toolboxes, a coil of rope, and pegged implements with yellowed tags below each hook. A wick trimmer, a brass wrench, a brush, and a scraper hang there. Their shadows rest softly against the boards. One crate reads, "Lamp glass." The one beneath it reads, "Keeper's Stores." Both lids stay comfortably shut in the amber light. From somewhere above, the lantern housing gives one low note through the tower, and then grows still again. It is small. It fades almost at once. The clock on the shelf goes on. The lamp keeps its narrow square across the table. The room grows quiet again. At the west window, the sea lies below in black reaches, broken by pale foam where it meets the cliff. and the rock steps near the landing stone. A buoy stands far out beyond the point, its red light appearing, vanishing, and returning beyond the headland. Closer in, the service path curves around the stone and disappears under the outer wall below the tower. The dark holds around it. The cliff gives nothing back. The room keeps looking out. Along the inner wall, old photographs show harder winters, with ice on the railings, and men carrying fuel tins up from the landing. Dust keeps to the lower frame edges. The silence suits the hour. Below them, a cabinet of brass tags hangs above a row of hooks, one empty beside West Gate. The cabinet door remains closed. Its lock reflects a faint line of amber. At the stair rail, green paint has worn thin where older hands once gripped through storms and fog. Bare metal shows through in a narrow shine. Below the rail, 5 steps lead toward a lower room cut into the tower base beneath the service floor. Cool air rises from the stairwell with stone, oil, and old damp. The lower dark remains undisturbed. The steps hold their own silence. Near the side shelf, spare bulbs lie in shallow tins beside a torch and a folded inspection card with 2 blank boxes at the bottom. A pale line of dried salt lies across the cloth beside a narrow tin of polish and a brass scraper. Nothing there asks to be touched. Outside the north panes, the headland opens in black grass and low stone, with one far sheep gate silvered by tower light. A farmhouse light beyond the ridge appears once, then disappears, leaving the fields and the path to the sea in one long dark. Night keeps its width around the tower, and the room stays warm inside it. Near the back bench, stacked funnels wait beside sealed oil tins and a narrow wooden case with dull brass corners. Nothing is taken down, nothing is opened. A dented kettle sits by the wall beside 2 mugs. One cup shows a line of dried tea near the base. No steam rises there. At the ceiling seam, dark beams cross above the room in pale bars over table, bench, and rail. Nothing flickers there. One screw head near the vent cover catches a glint and lets it go. The lamp settles again. The room stays as it is. Nothing begins. Nothing ends. The service room keeps its late arrangement above black water, warm and watchful, while the sea turns below the cliff and the tower holds its light. Near the rear wall, a sea cape hangs above the mat. Its sleeves keep their bent shape. At the lower pane, faint salt marks show where winter spray once dried on the glass. The pale trace stays there. The sea goes on below. Below the service room, the lower chamber keeps its dim pool of light inside the tower base, while black water moves around the cliff outside. No new sound rises there. No shadow crosses the floor. Only the pumps keep to their work. At the first landing, cool air gathers beside the stone wall. The steps show faint boot marks. No one comes down to disturb them now. Below the upper room, the chamber waits between brick, iron pipes, and narrow shelves lined with boxed wicks, valves, folded cloths, and chimney glass. A lamp glows above the first rack. Its light falls in a pale strip. Nothing Nothing passes through it. Near the wall, sealed tins of oil rest beside manuals and a county map. Blue road lines cross the open page and vanish near the edge of the sea. No hand folds it shut. A rack of long bars stands beside two storage chests and a bin of coupling parts. Their metal ends hold a dull shine. No grip closes there. A wooden tray below the rack holds spare lenses in divided slots. Red glass, green glass, clear glass. No light wakes inside them. Through the small seaward pane, the rock steps show one section of rail, a wet landing stone, and the dark shoulder of the path below the tower wall. Water shines once on the lower edge, then it goes black again. A pier lamp from the cove throws one weak reflection across a shallow patch beside the stone. Then the surface breaks apart. No boat reaches there tonight. At the work table, spare fasteners lie beside a screwdriver, a roll of tape, and a folded cloth. The tool handle shows one pale edge. No hand lifts it. A short ledger rests at the corner with stock counts and service notes written in narrow rows. No new line is added there. No page turns. From somewhere above, the lantern housing gives one small settling note and then returns to stillness. Not sharp, not near. The low room hum settles beneath it. The lamp keeps its small circle. The chamber takes back its quiet. Near the inner post, a hook holds a canvas cap above a box of keys and sealed batteries. The brim hangs in a soft curve. No shoulder enters it. A pair of gloves waits on the lid beside a folded shop towel. The leather catches a thin line of light. No hand reaches there. At the far door, the frame leads toward a closet marked Stores. The handle stays still. No one pulls it open. Beside the frame, a small clock face glows faintly above a pinned delivery slip. The hands sit near midnight. No one checks now. Along the floor, a grated drain runs toward the dark end of the room beside the sink wall. Watermarks show in pale streaks along the edge. No stream overfills there. A warning plate reads, "Employees only," in black letters on white plastic. The corners have gone dull. No second notice hangs below it. At the side recess, a cabinet of fittings stands beside a folded caution sign and a sealed tool case. White labels run down the drawer fronts. No drawer opens there. A key tag hangs from the case latch on a bent wire loop. The code has faded at one corner. No hand lifts it tonight. Near the north wall, 3 empty hooks hang beside a route map and a rolled canvas cover tied with twine. Their shadows rest in dark curves. No hook swings there. The canvas keeps its stiff shape in the cool air. A loose end hangs toward the floor. Nothing pulls it free tonight. Near the shelf edge, a folded rag rests beside a short brass wrench. The cloth keeps one dark grease mark near the center. No hand reaches tonight. No dust shifts along the shelf. No chain slips from the peg. Still. Back above, the upper room keeps its amber lamp, quiet table, and dark sea beyond the windows. The service log stays open on the desk. The stair remains empty. One light, then black water, then one light again beneath the cliff. At the back pane, dried salt still shows where older spray once pressed against the seam during winter storms. No cloth wipes it clear. No worker passes there now. The chamber stays cool below the tower. The lighthouse stays watchful above black water. Morning has not reached the landing yet. Near the back wall, 2 folded tarps rest beside a box of chalk and a spare warning plate with one corner turned toward the stone. Their edges stay square in the lamp glow. No hand lifts them. A dustpan hangs from one nail above the shelf beside a dry brush and a tin cup darkened by old water lines. It does not sway. No breeze reaches it here. At the lower shelf, a narrow pipe runs along the brick with 3 old clamps above a tray of washers and 2 pale lengths of cord. The metal shows one dull seam where the paint has worn away. No drop forms there tonight. Beside it, a small mirror rests against the wall with its face turned toward the lamp and the opposite shelf. It returns only part of the room. No face appears there. Near the pump, a gauge holds steady beside a folded belt. The hour leaves both of them alone. Above the black water, the outer gallery keeps its narrow circle around the lantern room, while the sea turns slowly below the cliff. No new sound rises there. No shadow crosses the iron grating. Only the night keeps widening around the glass. At the first rail, cool air rests against the metal. The paint has thinned where salt and weather have worked it for years. No hand closes there now. Outside the lantern room, the gallery waits between iron posts, curved glass, and the white tower wall above the sleeping headland. A narrow lamp glows by the hatch. Its light falls in a pale strip. Nothing passes through it. Near the wall, a folded chart rests beneath a brass clip beside the small black box of wick tools and 2 spare screws. Blue route lines cross the paper. No hand lifts it free. A rack of signal flags stands beside 2 storage chests and a narrow bin of coupling pins. Their cloth edges hang in quiet folds. No grip closes there. A wooden tray below the rack holds spare lenses in divided slots. Red glass, green glass, clear glass. No light wakes inside them. Through the outer rail, the cove below shows one dark landing, a broken wash of foam, and the long shoulder of the path cut into the rock. Water glimmers once near the lowest step, then it goes black again. A harbor lamp far off throws one weak reflection across a narrow line of moving sea beyond the point. Then the surface breaks apart. No boat reaches there tonight. At the small table, spare fasteners lie beside a screwdriver, a roll of tape, and a folded cloth. The tool handle shows one pale edge. No hand lifts it. A short ledger rests at the corner, with watch notes and weather checks written in narrow rows. No new line is added there. No page turns. From somewhere within the lantern, the clockwork gives one low, measured click and then settles back into the hush. Not sharp, not near. The wind leaves the gallery. The lamp keeps its small circle. The tower takes back its quiet. Near the inner post, a hook holds a canvas cap above a box of keys and batteries. The brim hangs in a soft curve. No shoulder enters it. A pair of gloves waits on the lid beside a folded shop towel. The leather catches a thin line of light. No hand reaches there. At the far hatch, the frame leads toward the lantern stairs above. The handle stays still. No one lifts it open. Beside the frame, a small clock face glows faintly above a pinned weather slip. The hands sit near midnight. No one checks now. Along the grating, a narrow drain runs toward the dark side of the gallery beside the wall. Salt marks show in pale streaks along the edge. No stream overfills there. A warning plate reads, "Keep gate shut," in black letters on white enamel. The corners have gone dull. No second notice hangs below it. At the side recess, a cabinet of fittings stands beside a folded caution sign and a sealed tool case. White labels run down the drawer fronts. No drawer opens there. A key tag hangs from the case latch on a bent wire loop. The code has faded at one corner. No hand lifts it tonight. Near the north wall, 3 empty hooks hang beside a route map and a rolled canvas cover tied with twine. Their shadows rest in dark curves. No hook swings there. The canvas keeps its stiff shape in the cool air. A loose end hangs toward the floor. Nothing pulls it free tonight. Near the shelf edge, a folded rag rests beside a short iron wrench. The cloth keeps one dark grease mark near the center. No hand reaches tonight. No dust shifts along the shelf. No chain slips from the peg. Still. Back below, the service room keeps its amber lamp, quiet table, and dark window above the sea. The service log stays open on the desk. The stair remains empty. One light. Then black water. Then one light again beside the cliff. At the outer rail, dried salt still shows where older spray once crusted along the iron during winter storms. No cloth wipes it clear. No keeper passes there now. The gallery stays cold around the lantern room. The lighthouse stays watchful above black water. Morning has not reached the headland yet. Near the west rail, a brass speaking tube curves down the wall beside a folded signal card. Its round mouth keeps one dull ring of light. No voice enters there. Below it, a tin cup rests upside down beside a brush with stiff, salt-whitened bristles. Its mouth keeps silence. The shelf stays dry tonight. At the outer glass, one moth circles the lamp once and then settles against the frame. Its wings stay pale. The metal keeps its low warmth. Beyond the pane, the sea keeps turning in long black folds beneath the cliff, and a bell buoy far off gives one slow rise of red before the dark takes it again. The horizon keeps its distance. Nothing follows it back. Near the wall, two folded tarps rest beside a warning plate. Their edges stay square in the lamp glow. No hand lifts them. The night remains patient there,